Good afternoon, Professor Langa. My name is Axel, and I am a Belgian consultant from Whatever Belgium Inc. I understand you are an expatriate from the United States that is about to join our team. My associate Lucas and I are here to train and teach you everything you need to know in order to be successful in Belgium. First and foremost, what do you know about Belgium? Chocolates? Yes, Belgium produces 220,000 tons of chocolate per year. Beer? There are over 800 kinds of beer made in Belgium. More than that, Belgium has more comic makers per square kilometer than any other country in the world. It's always a good start to look into Belgium history to get a good idea of where our values come from. In 57 BC, Julius Caesar extended the power of Rome into the region of Europe that is now Belgium. We gained our Declaration of Independence from the Netherlands in 1830. In 1940, Germany invades Belgium and Holland. Belgian government evacuates to London. King Leopold surrenders to German forces. In 1993, Constitution changed to recognize division of country into 3 administrative regions: Flanders, Wallonia, and Brussels. In 2000, the European Council head of government decided to hold all its regular meetings in Brussels. As a result, the city has become home not only to nearly 20,000 European civil servants, but to an even more numerous community of lobbyists, lawyers, and other professionals drawn to the EU's main decision center. In 2011, in December, French-speaking socialist leader Elio Di Rupo appointed prime minister at the head of a 6-party coalition, ending 541 days without a government. In order to understand the culture of my country, first I need to explain the demographic and geography. First of all, Belgium is located in Western Europe, and its bordering countries are France, Luxembourg, Germany, and the Netherlands. The total population is 10,449,361, and is about the size of Maryland. The northern region of the country is called Flanders, and people here speak Flemish. That makes up about 59% of Belgium's population. 40% of the population speaks French in the southern part of the country called Wallonia. The remaining 1% speaks German in the eastern part of Belgium. The capital is Brussels, which is also the largest city, and the most common languages here is actually French and English. Because of its complex languages, political structure is hard to establish. Belgium has one central government called the federal state, which has retained a number of powers that concern all Belgians, and 3 regions. Each region has as much power as the central government. One would think living within this intricate governmental system would spell chaos and collapse, but the reality is far from that. Belgians live for the most part in harmony in spite of all these politically charged linguistic differences. Here are some other interesting facts you might want to know about Belgium. About 71% of Belgians are Christian. The second most practiced religion is Islamic, and about 20% are agnostic. The literacy rate is 99%, which means that 99% of the people aged 15 and over can read and write. The average life expectancy in Belgium at birth for males is 76 years old, and for females is 83 years old. What is important to people living here in Belgium? Belgians are civic-minded. In the last election, 89% of registered voters turned out to vote, one of the highest out of all the 34 OECD countries. Belgian residents mostly live in urban areas. In 2012, the population was just over 11 million, ranking the 9th in the European Union. Almost all Belgians live in urban areas, with around 1.1 million people living in the capital, Brussels, and about 30% of those are foreigners. Pay equality in Belgium is around 50% better than the EU's average. In 2012, the average female employee earned 8.6% less than the average male employee, which is a smaller gap than the EU average, which is at 16.4%. Despite its small size, Belgium is a big world export player. Belgium exports amount to more than 80% of its GDP, and in 2012, according to the World Trade Organization, it was the 13th most important exporting nation in the world, with exports worth 201 billion euros. That's 3% of the world's total merchandise exports. Not bad for a country with less than 0.2% of the world's population. Belgian citizens are wealthier than most. According to the OECD 2012 report, average earnings were 33,000 euros, while the average household net financial wealth was estimated at 55,000 euros. You're probably more interested in how to do business in Belgium, so let's talk about it. Let's head over and talk to Lucas.
Thank you, Axel. I'm Lucas. Well, I hope you enjoy all these wonderful things about my beautiful Belgium. I mean, there is a reason why you chose Belgium. However, I know you're not here on vacation, but to work and lead some employees in our company. Hope I don't burst your bubble, but working here is just not the same as back in America. Did you know many expatriates feel working in places like Belgium? I really hope you don't become part of that trend. That's why I'm going to teach you how to do business in Belgium in order for you to become successful in our company. First, I'm pretty sure you'll be leading a group of Belgium employees. Well, you gotta remember 3 important aspects when conducting a meeting with your employees. First, you must be punctual. 2, the meeting must be well organized. And 3, it somehow must reach a compromise. Remember, be on time. Belgians hate waiting during any meeting. Remember, Belgium is a low contact culture, so be explicit with your communication. Therefore, remember about the linguistic structure when communicating with your employees. Try to get everyone's view and try not to interrupt during any meeting. Trust me, us Belgians do not like any breaks or interruptions that impede us from reaching a solution. If you remember these pointers, I know you'll do great when conducting a business meeting with your employees. Greetings and the way you present to your employees is very important to us Belgians. Remember to shake hands before any meeting. Do not use first names when you're speaking to your employees during any professional setting. It's a no-no. Maybe in the US it's acceptable, but here in Belgium, gotta change that. If your employee is a Flemish speaker, use Mr. or Mrs. And if they are a French speaker, use Monsieur or Madame. You will be a manager in our company, so you gotta remember the management hierarchy found in Belgium so your employees will respect you as a manager. Belgium has a pretty high power distance compared to the US, so they treat managers more formal. Flemish and Walloons might have a slightly different view on management, but they do see a strong manager to be essential. Remember to establish your role as a strong manager so they can see you as a superior. Belgian management style is more direct to achieving mutual agreed results than a purely arbitrary approach. This process is considered slow because of the obvious consultation element, but another view is that it allows for better balance in decision making and negotiation. So you gotta let your employees get a view before making any decisions. Doing business in Belgium is not easy as you may think. You also gotta avoid these behaviors when leading your team or conducting business here. These behaviors may seem okay in the US, but they gotta avoid at all costs here in Belgium. Remember, do not judge any person by their first name. Do not make extravagant physical gestures like hugging. Do not point with your index finger and do not ask personal or intimate questions. Also, do not schedule any appointments in July or August as most people are on vacation during these months. Remember, Belgium is an individualistic culture, so they see work as a contract base. You can motivate them at their fullest potential by treating them to more vacation time in order to work hard and achieve that reward. If you follow all these steps on how to do business in Belgium, I know you do great and be successful in our company with your employees.
Starting a business in Belgium may seem like a piece of cake, but still, there are several factors that are noticeable when starting a business in Belgium. People who get into the market for the first time need to be aware of the political instability of the country. The coalition government that continue to focus on reforming and stabilize the diverging interests within the political alliance, but business people always have to monitor the political disputes. Also, please be aware of the greater regional fiscal autonomy of one of the factors that directly influence Belgian economy. The government is generally welcoming of investors and creating jobs, but hostile to those closing down plants or moving their business elsewhere. Also, there is an elevated risk of terrorist attacks in urban areas across Belgium due to the country's support of the US-led military operations against the IS and the location of the EU's official departments. However, the Belgian security forces have been able to prevent a number of alleged plots so far, since majority of the attacks would be a lone wolf shooting or similar, rather than a large and articulated plot. Emerging separatism caused by difference of languages between Wallonia and Flanders have intensified government and market instability.
So, how do you think traveling in Belgium so far? Well, in spite of the limited territory, Belgium has built their fortune with foreign trade by taking advantage of their geographic location. Also, they have started an industrial revolution in the early period than any other country in Europe, which gave them significant economic advantage, allowing them to be one of the wealthiest European countries.
Who knew that Belgians have such a proactive attitude towards economy? The Flanders province was famous as a center of international trade by producing wool manufactured goods.
That's true. Then, did you know that the Wallonia province used to produce heavy industry? They have plenty of natural resources like coal field and iron mine in their area. But after the European financial crisis in 2009, majority of the Belgian business has focused on services area, which takes almost 70% from the entire GDP of Belgium, rather than international trade.
The financial crisis in 2009 left an enormous economic damage on Belgium's industry, and we are still in the recovery stage. You might ask how Belgians started to use the euro, then their own currency.
Belgium has participated on various forms of economic union a long time. In 1921, Belgium formed an economic union with Luxembourg and with the Netherlands, soon later to form the Benelux Customs Unit. They commonly used their own Belgian franc, but decided to change their currency to the euro, like other countries nearby in 2002 by joining the European Union. The Belgian labor force is skilled and highly productive, but the labor mobility is hindered by the Walloon-Flemish linguistic and cultural barrier. Even though the labor force is expected to expand by an average of 0.1% per year over the long term, slightly faster than the working age population, the variety of demographics in one region seems to become a major challenge in the near future.
Let's talk about the similarities between Belgians and Americans. Like Americans, Belgians are a low-context culture society because they like to avoid any kind of possible misinterpretation and confusion. Also like the US, Belgians have a high territoriality society because the personal space is very important to them. Moreover, both Belgium and the United States are classified as an individualistic, masculine, and indulgent countries due to their high scores according to Hofstede's model. Despite the two countries' similarities in culture, there are many differences between the two. Let's take a look at Belgium's Hofstede model. One noticeable difference is that Belgium scores much higher on the uncertainty avoidance than the United States, partly because of their history of frequently being ruled by others. In Belgium, logic, facts, discreteness are valued. Therefore, decisions are based on fact rather than intuition, and planning is favored. Changed policies are considered stressful. Belgium also scores higher than the US in Power Distance Index. At a score of 65, Belgium is a society in which inequalities are accepted. Hierarchy is needed, if not essential, and power is centralized in Belgium. In contrast, the US scores below average, which can explain the freedom of expression with regard to ideas and opinions in the US. At the same time, Americans do not require a lot of rules and are less emotionally expressive than higher scoring cultures. In addition, while the US scores 26 on the Pragmatism Index, Belgium scores 82. This indicates that Belgium is a long-term oriented society, where thriftiness and efforts in modern education are encouraged as a way to prepare for the future. On the other hand, the United States has a normative culture. This reflects the tendency to measure performance on a short-term basis, with profit and loss statements being issued on a quarterly basis of American businesses. This also drives individuals to strive for quick results within the workplace. Alright, I think you have everything you need to know in order to be successful in Belgium. Please, if you need any help or have any questions, don't hesitate to either contact me, Axel, or Lucas. Alright, see you soon!